Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to All About Android, your source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for Android users. I'm Jason Howell, and I'm here with
Eileen Rivera.
That's right, and Ron Richards, who's joined us in all the past beta episodes. He's out today. Actually, he couldn't make it, but we did work at a nice guest host to bring in, especially for the top story here. Today, we're going to be discussing, in particular, Android malware to great lengths, fragmentation, and cover a whole bunch of app news. Face off between location check-in apps, which we've got a whole section around. But first off, let's talk to our guest. We have special guest Aaron Gingrich. He's the associate editor of the Android Police blog. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. So we've got you're writing for the blog The Android Police, which is actually one of the I check quite a few Android blogs regularly, and I've definitely read a lot of articles on Android Police. I like the blog a lot. But you kind of came along the Motherload story this week, which is the top story that we're going to be talking about. And I'm sure if anyone has been following Android news at all this week, they've heard plenty around this whole backdoor app that kind of roots your phone and does all sorts of malicious stuff to your Android phone. You wrote the story, so why don't I just toss it over to you and you can kind of give us the background and we can go from there.
Great. So I actually stumbled upon it on Reddit, which I frequent. Somebody had found that a publisher or a developer had uploaded a bunch of pirated apps in the market, and when he cracked open one of the apps, he saw that it was actually sending user information out to a third party. So I saw this on Reddit, and I took it to our developer on our side, and he cracked it open. He noticed it was doing more than we thought originally. It was actually sending more information, and even worse, it was sending it was rooting the user's phone and then allowing code to be pulled in without the user knowing. So it was actually way more serious than initially thought.
And then you listed the apps that were affected. Did you were you a victim at all? Did you have any of these apps installed on your phone?
No, I was lucky enough that it didn't happen to me.
Yeah, I don't think I had Super Ringtone Maker or Hot Sexy Videos.
Yeah, no hot sexy videos on my phone. Well, the very insidious thing about this, from what I understand, is, like you said, they were spoofing essentially apps that were already in the store. And I guess my question is, so this is to say that there were duplicate apps for every one of these apps that appeared on the marketplace. How is that possible? Like, how is it possible that the same name could be used in two different apps?
It actually wasn't the same name. He kept all the market details, even the screenshots were the same in the description, but he changed the name, or the person changed the name on all of them, and
like ever so slightly.
Right, exactly. So basically, and the apps are already popular, so he just, like you said, ever so slightly, and then it sort of allowed the apps to take off on the heels of the real thing.
Wow. Yeah. Even something as simple as like chess, I believe, was one of the apps that, you have to imagine a lot of people are searching for that type of thing in the store.
Yeah.
So Google responded, and they posted on their blog about market security, and basically were able to kind of remotely deactivate.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on all of that?
From what I understand, and I actually emailed Google for a little bit of clarification, and they sort of did. From what I understand, it really is more of a removal tool than we thought was possible at first.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, we thought because the code was being backdoored in, the malicious code, that there was really no way of getting it out. But according to them, they figured it out a way. And so this market removal tool will, sort of fix any holes that have been made and remove any of the malicious code.
Mm-hmm. So they're actually reaching into your phone, whether you realize they are or not, and pulling out, which, yeah, I guess that's a really good question to kind of pose here. Is it a good thing that Google has the ability, the right to kind of reach into your phone and take things out of there at their own will? I mean, obviously in this case, you don't want this on there. It's rooting your phone. It's giving the code writers a backdoor into your phone, and who knows what else, allowing them to roll automatic updates and downloads to your phone without you knowing. So obviously it's a good thing to not have that on your phone, but is there potential for for abuse in other ways if this ability exists, or I don't know. I kind of feel a little bit safer in this regard. But
you do feel safer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
all of this makes me sort of a little wary, but I mean,
the fact that they can go into your phone and kind of remove these things,
just
or?
Everything that's happened over the last week. I don't know. Should I feel worried at all? I mean, what do you think, Aaron? Or should I feel safer?
I think you should feel safer. I think I don't really know if this is a great analogy, but I think it's sort of like the military, where you know they could do some bad things, but you know that it's really there to help you. So I think it's the same sort of thing where this may be naive, but I trust Google that they're not going to do anything nefarious with that capability. And as long as they're just using it in the right way, which they have so far, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they're trying to build a market. Quite literally, they're trying to build an app market.
Absolutely.
But they're trying to build a market around Android, and they want people to trust them in that regard. So I agree with you, Aaron. I think it's probably a good thing. It is interesting, though, that they can do this, and that potentially, hopefully, they won't have to do it again. But it's nice to know that if an app comes out and has this sort of malware activity going on, that they can. So.
What kind of advice would you give to especially new Android users out there, Aaron, in light of all of this?
It's actually the third time I've been asked that.
Yeah?
It's sort of a hard question. Yeah, it's sort of a hard question to answer.
I give the hard questions.
Yeah, you do.
Like a real reporter.
I'd say I think there are kind of a couple clues that there was something weird going on here. The first was that none of the apps that had been, none of the ripped apps had thumbnails. It was all just the little default
Android,
green Andy logo. So
for their icons. Is that right?
Right,
for
exactly.
kind of the icon that pops up in the marketplace? Okay, that would be a clue.
Exactly.
For sure.
And I think they all popped up at one time. And that's sort of another clue. I mean, I don't see why a developer would wait and release 21 apps at once. So, that doesn't really make sense. And
yeah, you'd have to be really, really aware of how the market works in order to absolutely notice that happened, I would imagine.
Right.
But that is a little fishy, yeah.
Right.
Especially if it's a chess app called Chess and it's got one download. Yeah.
New.
Right.
Right. And I would say that, the only other thing I could really think of would be that, like I said, these were things where they were completely identical in description and screenshots to apps that had been there for, quite a while beforehand. And I think that's kind of taking it another level. I don't think the average user or the new user is going to see that, but that's sort of something that more experienced users can look for, is to see if there's something, because generally if you're doing a search, it's going to show up nearby. See if there's anything that looks almost identical out there already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. When I'm looking for apps, it is very easy to get conned while you're looking, based on name or whatever. You're like, oh, this looks really good. But I think, again, just sort of know who the developer is. Hopefully do a little bit of research, that kind of thing, and you might be able to avoid.
Yeah, ultimately the power is in your hands, and it's like that window that pops up that I'm sure many more people just disregard rather than read. I know I'm victim of doing that as well. That asks you, that shows you exactly what this app has access to. It's just really kind of enforcing the fact that you need to actually pay attention to some of this stuff, because we live our lives on these phones right now. I can't even tell you how much stuff I store on my phone, and I use my phone pretty regularly, but I'm sure there are people out there that blow me out of the water as far as how much they use their phone for and how much secure information that they keep on there.
Right.
So you really kind of have to take that into your own hands and be careful with that. So
good. Very good.
Awesome.
Well, I did want to ask him before we let him go. We have another story. Our next story is about anti-fragmentation, and I'm not too sure. Do you have a tablet by any chance? Do you have a Zoom or?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I had the Galaxy Tab for review for 2 or 3 months, but don't have a tablet.
Okay. Well, Google has released Fragment. Are you aware of this new tool? In hopes of in hopes of working through the fragmentation problem. And I don't know. I think any kind of tool that could help bridge the gap, I think that's going to be good. Obviously, I haven't used it, but do you have any thoughts on this?
I think it's about time. I don't know how big of a step of it. I don't know how big of a step it really is because I'm not a developer, but it seems to me like it's good that Google is acknowledging the problem, and it is a very big problem that they have. So as long as they're making some progress, it's going to keep me happy for the time being.
Yeah, I mean they have to address this problem, and I mean this is like you said, Aaron, this is in there for developers to take advantage of, allowing them to kind of build. It's basically built into Honeycomb, but it allows them to kind of scale devices that are even as early as 1.6 to kind of scale up to those tablet sizes and be more compatible across the board. And that's absolutely something that they have to do with the amount of developers and the amount of hardware manufacturers out there creating all sorts of different screen sizes and everything. So I guess we'll see kind of how this plays out, and if it actually really helps down the line. I can only imagine that it will, as more developers kind of take foot of it. So.
Well, thank you, Aaron, for joining us today. I really appreciate it since you broke the story and helped sort of assuage my fears, at least.
Yeah, and Aaron, now that you have this fancy webcast gear, because I believe I read from the email that you had to pick some of this stuff up for the interview. Is that right?
I did. I picked it all up a couple hours ago.
Well, A, thank you very much for doing that. And B, we would love to invite you back on again when we do kind of the official launch of the show. It would be awesome to get you on again and get your insight on some of the other Android news.
Yeah, great. I would love to. Thanks for having me.
All right. Right on.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Take care.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. So moving on, one more piece of news before we get into apps and hardware, which there's not too much hardware, but we have a lot of app news.
Isn't.
Yeah, I just wanted to make note of one thing. But Jason, you threw in a story here about Google's cloud service on rooted devices, which is
okay, so
cool.
Right now it only really applies to rooted devices.
Yeah.
If you have a rooted device, which I do, I run Bugless Beast, you can get, and you have been able to get for a while, a new version of the, I believe it's the Gingerbread music player. And with the current versions of rooted OS, if you go into your sync menu, and I'll put a screenshot up here, now if you have that app installed, suddenly you have sync music, which is kind of an interesting little thing. And we've known that Google's working on kind of a syncing to the cloud option, and this is kind of further evidence of that. And it actually works. If you've installed the Gingerbread music player and you have a rooted device and you check your settings now, you'll see that sync music. You can click that, and it's actually syncing to your cloud. To the cloud. It might take overnight or whatever, but then the next day you go to your Google Music to use it, and you suddenly have the option to play from the cloud. And by all accounts, you probably don't need that music on your SD card anymore, unless you're going to be in a place that doesn't have connectivity. So it's just kind of a really cool insight into what's coming down the line and how much of this stuff they're moving into the cloud for your Android phone. Well,
it's probably why there's no SD card in this phone. They're thinking that everything is going to. I mean, I'm sorry, no external SD card. So I just have the 16 gigs here, and I can't add any more. And that's why I've been using Rdio quite a bit on this phone. And I have a little bit. I only have like 2 or 3 gigs of music on my phone, but I'm just like, I'm going to save it. I don't want to put too much on it. So that's where it's going. I don't know. Is everybody else? Are you going to the cloud, Jason?
Well, sure, if the option's there, why not? I mean, I'll sync my music to the cloud, and then it's available for me there if I really need it. Because, I mean, I have a paltry amount of space on here, and I've already pretty much filled it with the music that I have, and it's a small amount of my library. I'd love to have more up there. What we don't really know right now, we know that it's syncing. We don't really know where it's syncing to, just that it is, and the service is working and everything, but you can't get to it through the web. So you couldn't play your library from the web from this magical cloud location that it's been synced to. So I imagine we'll probably hear more information relatively soon about this. And who knows, maybe this functionality is suddenly appearing because they're getting close to rolling it out. I guess that remains to be seen. I
think that's our little tip. That it is getting close to
Let's hope so, because it's a pretty cool feature. It's not like there aren't other apps that do this type of thing.
Exactly.
But it would be nice to see how Google does it.
All right. Also, if you're looking for a Zoom, Sam's Club has it really cheap, Wi-Fi only, $539. Not bad. That's a better price point for the Wi-Fi only. And I actually only like the Wi-Fi only options.
Yeah.
I don't know about you because I could use my Nexus S.
Absolutely.
Do the
Tether
hotspot,
it.
do the tethering, so I don't
Yeah.
really need the data plan. I don't want to pay anymore for another data plan.
No.
So I'm
It's not worth it to me to pay another data plan so that I'm paying 2 data plans for my 2 portable devices.
Exactly.
Like I'd rather just, deal with the minor headache that is tethering my phone to the tablet, and that's fine.
So there you go, $539 if you're really interested at Sam's Club. I just think that's a really great price.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. How does that compare to the Granddaddy?
Well, it depends on what you want for the Granddaddy. You mean the one that's coming out on Friday?
Yeah.
The tablet that we shall not name on this show.
That's right. That's why I call it Granddaddy. I'm like, I kind of don't want to say the name of it. But I mean, does it has a Wi-Fi only version? And do we know the cost on that?
Yes, we do. I don't have it on, since I'm not buying one,
Somebody
I don't
in the
really.
chat room's going to throw it out there.
$600? Is that it? I don't know right now off the top of my head without looking it up because I'm not getting one, but it's around that.
$499 says Houdini 7.
Yeah, for the 16 gig. Yeah, that's about right. So it's about the same price.
Yeah, about the same price. Well, then that's what they need to do. That's what Android manufacturers need to do if they want to compete right now. They have to come out with as good, if not better, hardware for the same, if not less price, as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to apps. And our app review, are we playing our little...
Let's wait until the Android Arena. We don't want to psych people out for the battle quite yet.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we want to do a couple of updates on some apps. I just wanted to... last week, I talked about Chomp, and I'm going to try and pull it up here really quick here, which is a app discovery service.
Yeah, I kept meaning to install this.
Oh, you haven't yet?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, so here it is. It's a pretty good service, and I have my own profile. There I am.
A little out of focus.
Oops.
You keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to
focus. Show my email. Sorry. What I'm going to show you are my apps. And then there it is here. So I can go in and review. These are some of the latest apps that I've downloaded. You can see some more. You could see what I've actually... Let's see if I've actually reviewed any. So the main... I do have one issue with this. It's great. It looks great. The UI is awesome. But the one thing that you could do on the iOS version is follow other Chomp users and see their recommendations. So it's not just this canvas here where it's, Twitter, on sale, entertainment, which is great. I also like to know what other users are downloading, and I want to see their,
well, that's the whole point of it is the social.
Well, there's no social yet on here yet.
I see. That's right, because when they rolled it out, they said that they wanted to kind of focus on the core functionality of just finding the apps and making that useful, and then adding the social.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the social because honestly, once you start following people and discovering what they're downloading, that's great. But here, I loved Beluga and Ninjump and Androidify, and there's some of my comments on there. I haven't not loved anything yet. I will get to the non-love pretty soon. But that's just the one thing. I didn't, I wanted to make mention of that because I didn't last week because I thought it was already going to be included, and it wasn't. So when that happens, it'll be even a more robust app for everyone.
Nice.
All right, so Jason, let's talk about Seismic.
Yeah,
they have made an update. And
they have, and I'm realizing if I switch over to here, it's gonna be really hard for me to play the movie. So I'm not gonna pull it up. If you have it, open it and show it. Essentially, if you click on that little the little guy up at the top, that'll take you to your your access, and that'll take you into your Facebook page. And I don't know if you want to go there on okay, cool.
There, now I'm looking at Facebook.
And here's the important thing as far as I'm concerned. Up at the top little tabs, that Pages button. That's the one. That's the thing that I've been waiting for, and I mentioned it on a previous beta episode. Is that all these Twitter clients, also allow you to update Facebook, but it's always your Facebook profile, never your Facebook page. Well, Seismic happens to have just rolled out the ability to not only navigate and monitor and track all of these pages, but also post to them. In fact, you can post to multiple different pages at one time when you make an edit, which, like I said, I'm all in as soon as a single client did that. So Seismic did it, so suddenly I'm not using TweetDeck anymore. And I will say I do miss TweetDeck's simplicity, because I really did feel like TweetDeck kind of gets rid of some of the noise and just kind of makes it a little bit simpler to look at and navigate. And Seismic sometimes just feels a little cluttered to me, but I'm able to cross post to pages as well as Twitter and all that, and I'm really happy about that.
I'm in. I've made the jump. I love Twika. It's really fast, the app that I profiled several weeks ago.
Yeah.
But with this Facebook integration, and it seems to be an earlier version of this was a little janky for me. It was a little, I don't know, there was something wrong with it. It wouldn't update properly, but this one seems to be working like a dream. So I'm really excited by this. Is there a jump to the top?
Yeah, if you hit the red bar at the top.
Aha.
There you go.
Love it.
Boom.
In. This, honestly, to me, is right now the best Twitter client, I have to say.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the more full-featured Twitter clients, and they've come a long way. It's one of the first ones that I used when I got my Droid. It was Twidroid, and then I used this for quite a while. And they've just, since the last time I checked it out to this time, they've made a lot of UI interfaces, enhancements and tweaks, and
it's faster too.
It feels faster. It's a little snappier.
Yeah. So congrats to Seismic. We're in. Thank you.
Totally.
Thank you
That's
very
great.
much.
I hate to say it, though. TweetDeck ends up rolling out Pages support. I might end up going back.
Oh, you're going to go back because you like their interface better.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. It just feels a little bit simpler to me.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Google Navigation and how they are automatically rolling out routes.
I really wanted to try this on my way to work today.
Oh, really? I haven't tried it yet.
Although my navigation path, well, no, I guess there are a few different points that it could reroute. But have you ever used, when you're using navigation on Android, have you ever tried the reroute based on traffic option?
I believe, yes, I have. And it did an adequate job, although
it's kind of hard to get there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you had to spend some time thinking about it and being like, okay, I guess we'll go there. And
in the end, it's not a fair comparison because it led me to a building that no longer exists because I thought whatever. I was looking for the Shark Tank. I was looking for the San Jose Shark Tank, and it led me to the old building instead of the new one.
Oh, interesting.
It was weird. But we were rerouting and doing things like that on this phone. And I don't know. Anyways, what's your experience?
Yeah. No, I mean, anytime I've tried to do the rerouting, it's only been a couple of times that I've even remembered to look for it. And that was the problem, is that you could reroute and you could hit that little button and everything. But I don't know. I just never remembered to do that. And I was already set. And it was just something that I always thought that should be, at least an option to be an automatic thing. So they basically changed a minor tweak to navigation, but they basically changed it so that it will automatically pick the quickest route based on traffic congestion.
That's so awesome. I really can't wait to try it. And I hope I don't really have to try it, honestly. But, when you're driving, you're going to get caught in traffic, or if you're rushing to get to the airport or whatever, you might need to know.
It's bound to happen. I just hope that it works well.
Me too.
And not that it thinks that it's working well. And I also wonder, how does it decide if there is no tracked information? Because there are times when I've been navigating and I look at the graph, and it gives you the different colors. Green is great, red is not. But there have been times where it's gray, which I assume means that there isn't enough tracked information for it to know whether there's congestion or not. So it just says, we're not telling you anything about this. I wonder how that factors into the rerouting. And could that bite you? Bite you if you trust it. I don't know.
Okay, before we get into the arena, we're going to South by Southwest.
That's right.
And we'll do another plug at the end of the show. But I ran into Team Android Choice Award finalists. And this is happening at South by Southwest, sorry. And there are a bunch of apps that are up for this award. And it's kind of interesting because there are some apps that have already existed. I thought this might be for newer apps, but Gowala's on the list. Food
and
spotting.
Gowala was kind of the darling of last year at South by Southwest, right?
2 years ago? I don't know.
I thought Foursquare was 2 years.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Another app,
Foursquare was 2 years ago. Gowala was last year.
Another app, Hashable, Sifka, Spark. Just take a Tooth Tag, Feedly. There's all of these apps, which is great because I want to learn a lot about them. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know let's see, 7:30. Well, you know, it'll be interesting to see who wins. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I don't know if we're going to be able to make it because we have our
we're so busy.
Twit
when we're
meetup at that point.
But Lightbox photos, this sounds really cool too. So, it's Sunday, March 13th at 7 p.m. Well, we might make the tail end of that, Jason, maybe.
I don't know. I think I'm going to be editing Twit.
I know.
Probably what I'm going to be up to.
So good luck to all of those apps, and I'm going to be checking them out. So we'll probably the next time we talk, maybe we'll talk who's the winner and
kind of touch on some of those because there are a lot on that list that I haven't heard of.
There's so many apps that are launching at South by that it's kind of making me start to puke right now because I don't know, where it ends.
It's funny. South by Southwest has kind of pegged itself because of the Twitter explosion one year and the Foursquare. It's like everybody wants to be the blank of South by Southwest.
And so now it might be groups,
for some reason.
Groups for apps, but I'm looking and it's like a lot of these are just iOS only friendly. So,
oh, really?
Jason, that knocks you out. That's not, you don't get to experience.
Hey, I'm used to it. I've not been on iOS forever. So
I know. I don't
I'm
think
used
it's
to being
fair.
left out of the party.
I don't think it's fair. But we'll be looking at that, and maybe we'll make a party or two or whatever that's related to Android. There's a few Team Android parties that maybe we'll get to.
Oh, okay. So, hey, I'm down.
All right, why don't we head into the arena?
2 enter, 1 lives. Android Arena.
Yeah, that's right.
Today we're looking at location check-in services, and I just wanted to talk about this little story here that I had this weekend. Okay, let me just go back. I'm a little nutty these days. I've got a lot going on, as with everyone else here. Sunday, I thought I lost my phone. Came here to the cottage and thought, where's my phone? Oh my gosh, I thought I had it here with me. I couldn't find it. So I thought I left it at home. After Twit, went home, couldn't find my phone. I didn't know where it was. I started to panic. I don't lose phones. I'm the kind of person this hardware is with me everywhere. Obviously not this last time. In the end, I found my phone via Google Latitude. And I have Google Latitude to thank for this because I turned it on a while ago, meant to turn it off actually, and I'm glad that I didn't because talking to Tony Wang, one of our editors here, he said, do you have any of those location services, loaded up? Because I don't have Where's My Droid. I don't have any of those other great apps that can help you find your lost droid. But I did have this. And I said, nice. Oh, wait a minute, I have Latitude. And I looked it up on the web and it said, arrived to Twit Cottage 12 minutes ago. It just arrived. And I thought, wait a minute.
Either it walked there and met me here or it came with me. Yeah.
Long story short, it was wedged in a part of my car that I looked everywhere in my car except for this one little section. It's totally boring, long story. But I just have Google Latitude to thank, and I'm so excited that it exists. And I am not going to turn it off now.
Yeah.
Do you have Google Latitude?
When I was working at CNET, I used Latitude a lot, and it was basically I had it. I didn't have it set up to connect with friends and all that kind of stuff because I'll tell you, I'm doing a lot of being at the house lately with the baby. But we had it set up, my wife and I, so that I would know when she's on her way home from work.
Oh, okay.
So that we could do things like timing feedings or starting dinner or whatever. So it was just very handy. It was a little bit easier than having to send a text message, which isn't that difficult. That's what I do right now because I haven't reinstalled Latitude, but I used it quite a bit and I thought it was great. You could just kind of look at the map and be like, oh, cool. She's at Montgomery Station. That means it's probably going to be another 15 minutes and she'll be home, or whatever. Very handy. But I was kind of leery of the idea of turning on location awareness and giving it out to a bunch of people and just being like, hey, you can find me and we can party if you find me in the same place that you are.
I've only given it to a few people, and I think that's how I'm going to keep it. So I turned it on a long time ago, and then I had a little bit of misgivings, and I thought, I'm going to turn it off. I got to turn this off. I don't want anybody to know where I am. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
so,
and Latitude has a little bit of a little widget as well that if you have it installed on your phone, can kind of track nearby people, and you click it, and it'll open up the map and take you right to where they are in comparison to you. It's very handy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that are really wary about location-based services, anyways, and I understand completely why. But in this case, it saved me.
Yeah,
not that,
absolutely.
Not that the phone was going anywhere, but I was on the phone with T-Mobile. I almost turned off the phone. They didn't. I don't know. They rerouted me like several times times Sunday night and whatever. It didn't work. Then I was going to drive to T-Mobile and get a new phone. And I don't know. It all worked out. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I had a very positive experience, and now I'm going to continue using it. So.
That's a great realization to make when you check it out and it says arrived 10 minutes ago and you arrived 10 minutes ago.
did.
Then you know the world's not crashing around you. You're okay.
Well,
your phone's with you
it.
somewhere. Well, that was my next question.
Yes,
is did you call it?
I kept calling it and I didn't hear it because it was on silent. And
I do that
it
all
kept
the time.
ringing and ringing and ringing. And, if someone stole it, they would have taken the card out, and it would have gone straight to voicemail. Or I was thinking maybe I ran over it and it's in pieces. I don't know. I dropped it on the street. But, it kept going to voicemail. So it tipped me off that, okay, it's somewhere.
Right.
And no one's picked it up. So that's my little, happy ending story with thanks to Google Latitude.
Location aware.
I know.
By the way, we should mention really quick, as of last week's episode here. Let's see. Oh, I already switched over here. Hold on one second.
We have somebody switching.
I know.
Yeah.
You should just know that we put up the poll for last week. Which messaging app do you use most often? And I threw in a stock app
That's a good
option
call.
in there to see. And turns out 58% of people prefer the stock messaging app.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I believe that. I guess I can kind of understand that, actually, because I went for a long, long time not wanting to put any sort of messaging apps on. I thought it was going to slow things down and all that. But
Okay.
yeah,
It's fair enough.
I would have answered this way probably 2 months ago.
Yeah. Until
But things
you
have
knew
changed.
Things have totally
yes,
changed.
things have totally changed.
Okay, well, our face-off, our location check-ins, and we're just going to focus on the two biggies. We're going to focus on Gowala and Foursquare.
That's right.
Be interested to get everyone's take on it. I've got Gowala on my phone, and they have a fancy new update. Jason,
Yeah, they have update to 3.0, I believe.
The great thing about Gowala is its UI. I mean, look how beautiful with the different colors and the tabs and, let me see, all the stamps. Let's see here. I'm going to show you all the stamps eventually if they show up on my profile.
Have you spent a lot of time using Gowala versus Foursquare at any point? Because it's kind of it's definitely known as kind of the second run to Foursquare, I would say.
Right. I spend more of my time on Foursquare, but I have to think twice about this. Also I just like the mayorships. It's very competitive. Here you get stamps, which are very cool. You could see I've checked into various places like SFO in Dallas and in New York and whatnot. Very cool things. The other thing about Gowala is that you could use it to check into Foursquare as well.
Okay.
So that's actually really cool. I haven't turned on that service yet, but most of the time it works. Sometimes it's a little wonky if there's a location that isn't available on Foursquare that is on Gowala. But for the most part, it works. I just love, the UI to this is just gorgeous. And they have little things like, let's see if I could find it here. But they have places that they say, oh, let's do some trips here. So, we're going to do a Golden Gate Gallop, So, hey, we're going to check out all of these places that this certain section has said, hey, check this out and check in when you go to the Coit Tower or whatever. It gives you kind of like, especially if you're traveling, kind of like a guide and a purpose. Like, oh, well, let's go to this location.
Yeah, right.
This app has told me, or this portion of the app has told me to go here or there. Here are the spots. So, if I'm walking near Golden Gate Bridge, let's check in there. Or let's check out the Sausalito Trail view. Oh, they also talk about the St. Francis Yacht Club. I mean, especially if you're new to an area, I think that'd be kind of a cool way to discover.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, I think the UI is great. You could see your friends here. You could, let's see, what's Andrew Major doing right now?
He's partying somewhere.
He's busy.
That's
he's
what
busy
he does.
learning how to.
That's how he rolls.
Yeah, he's busy with partying pretty soon. Oh, then we'll see his friends, his items and stuff. I mean,
It does look very clean.
It's so, yes.
And that'll be kind of one of my complaints about the Foursquare app is I feel, I don't know, sometimes I just feel a little not overwhelmed, but it just feels like there's a lot going on and all I ever use it for are a couple of things, and so there's a lot of unnecessary stuff there. But I'm sure everybody uses these apps differently.
Yeah. So here I'm going to check into the Twit Cottage, and you can elect, and I haven't set it up on my my phone right now, but you could share it on Facebook, Twitter, on Foursquare, on Tumblr, which is great. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check in right now. Ta-da! Look at the little receipt that comes up like that. Isn't
Nice.
that cute? I don't know.
I would have appreciated a.
Well, I did turn everything off sound-wise
I'm
on my
just
phone, so maybe there
I'm
is.
sure it's there. A little dot matrix printer action. That's all I'm saying. Come on.
All right,
That's
so
cool.
that is Gowala in a nutshell.
Nice.
And
I really like the look of it.
the look
It's
is
very
great.
clean.
I think now you're going to start talking about Foursquare. I think the problem is most of my friends are on Foursquare, so that's why I use that more.
Yeah, and I would imagine that's probably the case for a lot of people. Let's see here. Wrong camera. Doing this stuff on the fly can be a little difficult for me. I apologize. Well, okay, so first thing I'll start off with is the fact that you're actually seeing locations, which is great because up till about 30 seconds ago, I could not for the life of me get it to show me anything. It kept saying there was something wrong with the with the GPS or whatever, even though GPS had been on and active for the last 10 minutes or so. But anyways, I was able to get in. And yeah, you can see the nearby locations. One thing that I would love to be able to do, and maybe it does this and I just never saw it, is sort based on absolute location.
Yeah.
So I want absolutely nearby, the nearest by
when you're about to check in.
in ascending order. And that's all, because that's always what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the location that I'm at or whatever. And you kind of get the feeling that if you're at a location, it should be at the top of the list. Why isn't the place that I'm at right now appearing at the top of the list when I open the app? And a lot of times it's not. Twit Cottage app happens to be, oops, that's your phone.
Well, it's in your favorites because you
it happens to be because I've checked in there multiple times, so I'll go ahead and do that right now because I don't think I've done that today. And you're the mayor, by the way.
I am the
I don't know how
mayor.
loud I should say that.
I love it. Sorry, Leo.
Yeah, he'll get it back.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure.
we'll see about that.
But you can do a lot of stuff here. You can share it on Facebook, as you can see here. Share it on Twitter. You can write a little message, but I'm not going to do that. That'll distract me. Share with friends. I imagine that just means it broadcasts out to other Foursquare users that you are here and that you're officially checking in there, versus them kind of stumbling across or looking you up and finding you at a place. And of course, the big thing around Foursquare is their badges and kind of their bonuses and their perks for checking into places.
When the mayorships too.
Oh,
if you're very competitive, like a lot of us are, you just want to be mayor of the Twit Cottage. You want to be mayor of whatever. I'm mayor of Bovine Bakery, which is around the corner here.
I noticed you check into that place from time to time. Do you just check in from here?
No,
like Bovine.
I'm honest about where I check in.
No drive-by check-ins?
I don't do the drive-by check. Well, unless you're on the Golden Gate Bridge and I'm not driving and it's like, oh, let me check. I was here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's got the whole tips system. If you're looking at tips from others right now, who doesn't subscribe to Twit is a girly man, says this one person in there. So everybody that's been here before and checked in, they can leave a little message and a little tip for other people that arrive, as well as post photos around it.
Yeah, I guess they're adding recommendations. I don't see that yet to the Android app, but apparently they're going to add that for South by.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the big news today, is that just in time for South by Southwest, they are going to be rolling out an update tonight. Oops. There we go. They're going to be rolling out an update tonight that gives you kind of those recommendations, as you said. I believe, let's see here, Explore section. They're going to have deals, revamped leaderboard for points earned in the app.
This is why I'm still on Foursquare. I just like all this stuff. I like all the deals. I don't necessarily like the stamps, but I just like the Gowala UI, but I just feel like Foursquare offers more for me. So I don't know what everybody else thinks in terms of what they want to use. But I do know that there are staunch Gowala users out there.
Oh, absolutely.
And they just love it and they don't care about mayorships or whatever. So
I imagine what's really important around these types of services is just, where are your friends? Are they all using Foursquare? Are they all using Gowala? Are they using both and it doesn't matter?
It's funny because I know that I had gotten messages before that a lot of people in Europe, and I don't know if this is still true, they use Gowala. But out here, most of us use Foursquare. But that's just, that was a year ago when I took this poll. Things may have changed.
I find that I only ever end up using these things when I go on trips, such as South by Southwest.
Well,
because I'm in a strange place that I don't know many things about it, and I actually am really interested in seeing where people that I know are, because I know that they're not in a completely different city. They're in the same city as I am, and very handy at South by Southwest. And I can totally understand why this did so well a few years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a good app. I'll tell you what it is. I'm constantly looking for reasons to use it. I'm trying to
You don't
find a reason to use it.
You don't care about mayorships. You don't care. Jason's, you're not.
I've never had a mayorship.
What if you wanted to be mayor of the Toy Cottage? There you go. You could compete against me right now.
I considered it when Leo left on his trip, but then I kind of got a little scared. I was like,
Really?
I don't know if I want to knock him out of mayorship. But you're still here, so I guess I had nothing to worry about. I don't know. The mayorship isn't enough for me. Like,
really?
Maybe if the deals were really good, maybe then I'd be. But I just don't think about it. It's not top of mind. It's not like I go someplace and the very first thing I think of is, I better open, unlock my phone, launch Foursquare. Granted, I'm on a Droid, so it takes forever. Wait for it to load up. Oh, no, I have to activate GPS again. Okay, do that. Oh, it didn't pull up the list. Oh, now it did, finally. And it's like 10 minutes later, and why? Like, it's just not that important to me. But yet I do it sometimes. I don't know.
I do it all the time.
Am I alone on an island?
No, I don't think you are. I know a lot of people who refuse to use this service.
Yeah, Christopher TN says, agreed, Raygun 01. I never think about it.
Okay. But there are a lot of us who do really like it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't think it's a bad service. I think it's a great service. Yeah. I want more of a reason to use it. I don't know. Maybe if they partner with Groupon.
Do you use Groupon a lot?
My wife does, yes.
Oh, okay.
And by extension, I do, because I find out about them through her, and she says, buy that. I say, okay.
Not for everybody, but they can. Yeah. There are some places that do 10% off your coffee, 10% off your dinner order if you're the mayor, that kind of thing.
So have you gotten a lot of discounts?
No.
Through Foursquare?
Honestly, no.
Yeah. But you've had mayorships.
I have many mayorships.
And have they gotten you discounts?
No.
Oh. No. See, that needs to change.
Here are my mayorships right here. It's a very sad mayorship, except for the Twit Cottage. I'm mayor of the Twit Cottage, Bovine Bakery, like I mentioned. Divine Wine in Pasadena, California. I've been only a few times, and I'm still, after I think a year and a half, still the mayor because no one checks in over there. And then 2 vets. Yeah, I visit the vet a lot because of my dogs. So that's why I'm the mayor of those places, and I don't get a discount at the vet. Would be really nice.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be good.
I don't think they care about Foursquare.
Probably
just
not.
like you, Jason.
Probably not. And there are a lot of other location services out there. Facebook Places, which is built into the Facebook app. Google, well, we talked about it. Google Latitude.
Yeah. They have check-ins on Latitude too. Yeah. Web 9356 wants to know if you could check in automatically on Foursquare and Gowala using Latitude. I haven't tried, honestly. I'm not sure if you can set that up.
Automatically, in the sense that you arrive somewhere and
you
just
check in on Latitude, and then you can check in. Kind of the way Gowala, you can check in using that, and it goes straight to Foursquare if you set that up. So,
yeah. Actually, TweetDeck for Android allows you to check into Foursquare. Yeah. Oh. And allows you to monitor the Foursquare feed.
Oh.
So,
You're just hoping to go back to, you're like, TweetDeck, come on.
No, I just remember.
Add pages. Add pages.
Come on.
And that's it.
Come on, TweetDeck. You've been doing it on desktop for ages. Come on.
I know.
Anyway, so that's that.
That's our poll, right?
Which one are you going to use? One. Let's see here. I got to now switch things here. And all right. So the poll is if you go to poll.cm/887, and I put up a few here to choose from, a few that we've talked about, a few that we haven't, but knowing that we don't cover them all. Foursquare, Gowala, Facebook Places, Yelp is another one that we didn't actually talk about that I think is kind of on the up and up right now. A lot of people seem to use, definitely people use that on the desktop. I don't know how many people are checking into places on their Android phone. Maybe a lot. Latitude, threw another. I hate to do that because then you don't really know what they're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Others gonna win.
But we've got the big players there, I think. So
okay, yeah.
So there we go. So that is poll.cm/887.
Take our poll. Yeah. Okay, now while we're talking about check-in services, I also just again wanted to mention, because not that we beat this down enough, but Get Glue, we've just partnered with Get Glue,
right.
And what we're doing is, if you check into a show. Our show's not on here, but let's say, earlier I checked into Mac Break Weekly.
There we go.
Earlier, I checked into MacBreak Weekly, and I received a badge. I already received it, so I can't show you, but I don't know if you have our link to our Flickr site. But you could get a South by Southwest Twit sticker, and we're going to be handing that out at Momo's on Sunday if you're going to the event. But you can also get it via the mail if you get the sticker and you cannot attend. So
Vamp, as I'm trying. So I don't know what you guys think. I think it's pretty cool to, people like stickers on their laptops and whatnot. We also have our own sticker. Do you have it now? Thanks for vamping. Although it's taking a while.
It's taking a while to show our sticker. This is the limited edition sticker, actually.
This, for those who don't know, is Flickr. And yeah, it's taking a while to load up the stickers.
Internet. Hi, internet.
Yeah, I know it's really slow on this one, but so basically, people can go to the Twit meetup and the Twit show and check in on GetGlue. Now, what is GetGlue? GetGlue,
yeah. Well, let me just go through that. It's one of my favorite apps because this actually would work as if you wanted to get into checking in to things, Jason. You could check into TV shows, music that you're listening to, books that you're reading, movies. It's really check-in for those who are on the couch a lot, like me. I don't go that many places. Even drinking wine, if you're thinking about things, a celebrity, a video game, or whatever. So oftentimes I check into a show that I'm watching, and it could be a podcast like Twit, or, like earlier I mentioned MacBreak. I checked in, and I got this badge. Check it out.
Oh, yeah.
That's our GetGlue badge, and we'll be handing them out. GetGlue is sending that to us while we're at South by, and so we'll be handing them out at Momo's if you have it. Just show us your phone with GetGlue and the actual sticker that you, or proof that you received the sticker, and then we'll hand you one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
great.
But
we also have our limited one. Do you have that one yet?
Yeah, it's broken image length. Let me.
There it is.
I tell you, sometimes the internet here.
Our Tony Wang designed this, and we'll be handing those out. I think we have 1,000. We're not just handing that out at Momo's. We're handing them out. We might have them on hand if you see us roaming with the live view cameras. Come say
Put
hi.
the camera down and give me a sticker.
Exactly. I think we're going to get that kind of messaging. So, anyways.
I'll have a little dispenser on my side so people can just come and grab one. Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll have those on hand to pass out while we're in Austin. So
that's
very
excited.
Great. And thanks to GetGlue for helping us and for doing that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot on Twitter, actually. Like do a keyword search for Twit Live or whatever and just monitor that. And I checked in on GetGlue. I love Tech News Today on GetGlue. And, it has the link. And I'm just like, what is that?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
All right. Well, let's move on to the feedback section of the show.
As you know, we're still in beta, so we're still working it out, and eventually we're going to have a show open and segment headers, and so you're still seeing us sort of workshopping our show. We don't even have Ron here today, so we just wanted to come in and talk, and there's a lot of Android news out, so and we're still. We're working out our kinks. We're working out, the chemistry here and that kind of thing. So you're seeing things, we're not Leo, we're not Tom yet, but
I think we have good chemistry.
We're close.
I think it works. I think it works.
I think it works too. So we're working. We're still workshopping, and eventually we'll have like this really streamlined show with all of us involved and guests. And
my guess is it'll get really streamlined when we're at the new studio and we have the new TriCaster.
And I think
with the amount of media roll-ins that we talked about putting in the show,
we want to do a lot of media roll-ins into the show. Yeah, exactly. Like I was thinking about pre-recording our app reviews so that I'm not sitting here fumbling while internet's not working or GPS is not working. You can actually see it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be rolling in a lot of stuff. It's hard to do that currently in our configuration. Yeah. So we're working on all of that. So please, thank you very much for your patience on all of that. But we did get some emails and some voicemails.
Yeah. So first of all, voicemails that we're going to play on the show. We have a couple. You can leave us a voicemail 347-SHOW-AAA. That's 347-746-9222. Like Dwight did, he has a request for future shows.
Hey, this is Dwight calling from Georgia. Just want to say that I like your show and really looking forward to seeing more things about the roots and ROMs. I heard you guys say that y'all going to keep that for the main show, but definitely I think that would definitely be something worthwhile seeing, especially, just taking the full advantage of all that Android has to offer. So keep up the good work.
It's kind of the beauty. As I've lived more in the root world, I totally think that that's kind of the beauty of the Android OS. Not that you can't root your iPhone, and I don't know what it's like to jailbreak your iPhone and do whatever, but on the Android, there are just so many flavors of root operating systems that you can install. It's kind of like a goodie bag because it's all free. It's all out there. There are developers working really hard to kind of create these cool new UIs and bring you new features. It's a cool world to delve into. So when we launch the official show, we have a plan to kind of root your phone on air,
live, all the way live.
And I promise it won't be boring because there are a few steps and everything, but we'll vamp in between and talk about other things and check back on it and whatever. But it's really cool, and I think you'll really kind of enjoy the window, this like new world that you kind of step into when you root your phone.
Yeah, I'm waiting. So I know everybody's been asking, and we're going to do that live. We're going to do it when this show is official. So
bring Darren Kitchen on.
I told Darren, I said, you have to be there when I root my phone in case anything goes wrong. So
he's good. He's a good person to have there because he can really get geeky about what exactly is happening.
You guys are gonna love it
and all that.
And I'll be sitting here with my mouth open. Oh my God!
Oh, I don't like that screen. That's kind of the off-putting part is you see these screens that you've never seen before with these type faces or these type fonts that are so small because it just looks like a terminal. Yeah. You're like, oh, what have I done? I have the potential to really screw up my phone right now, and it's actually
I'll be
not
the
that
guinea
bad.
pig for all of you.
That's right.
So we'll do that. We'll do it live.
All right. Next voicemail is from Edwin, and speaking of root, he asks about his Nook color. Here we go.
Hey guys, I just want to congratulate you on the show. My name is Edwin. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I called. I'm calling to ask you a question about the iPhone 4. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
It's like, what?
I'm just teasing you guys. It's great to have an Android-only show. I think you guys are going to do great. Your personalities are perfect, and you guys will do great. I do, however, have a little question about. My wife got the Nook color, and I rooted it, and I put a 2.2 on there. And, I just wanted to know what you guys think of that, what you guys heard of that, what's possible now with the Nook color. I'm a little tech-savvy, but not, extremely. So I'd just like your feedback on that and your opinions. Thanks, guys. Congratulations on the show, and much success. Take care. Bye-bye.
Nice.
Thanks, Edwin. I'm curious, because I don't have a rooted Nook. I don't own a Nook, but I'm curious how it runs. Is it fast? I thought it was running slower.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know how rooted Nook color runs, how well it runs with the OS. I haven't heard that, actually. I wish I knew that. But there are things that you can do with it, for sure. I mean, all of the typical root apps you can install onto it, and you know, some of those allow you to actually overclock. And I'm not sure. There's one in particular called Set CPU that allows you to overclock to a certain limit based on the device that you're using. And I honestly don't know if they've built in functionality specifically around Nook color for Set CPU, but that might be one way to speed it up. It's possible, and rooting your devices generally opens the door for that. But there is an article here on what is it, reviewhorizon.com that answers your question specifically. It says how to root your Nook color and transform it into a cheap Android tablet, and they give a lot of different recommendations on different ways that you can kind of take your screen and do different things with it by installing just regular apps that you can get through the App Store, like Zeem, Launcher Pro, e-readers, throw the Kindle app on there.
Look at all that.
Basically, if you have a rooted Nook color, you have an Android device. So you can install all these other things and turn your Nook color into a Kindle reader. Why not?
Edwin, try TuneIn Radio. I love that app if you want to, play music, stream music. That's one of my suggestions.
It is on here under multimedia and TuneIn Radio. I mean, basically rooting your Nook color allows you to do anything that your phone or your tablet can do, and that might be a no-duh answer. But when you really think about it, it's kind of cool to take this one device that wasn't intended to do that at all, and suddenly you've opened up this whole window, this whole world. I guess the trick is when you root your Nook color, you install an OS that has the Market app built into it, because you need that to access a lot of this stuff. But really, your imagination is the limit as far as this is concerned. So
yeah,
I say check it out, and I would love it if you're kind of looking into this and you come up with kind of a cool little customization or you do some nifty stuff. Email us allaboutandroidshow@gmail.com, and I'm working on a shorter email address than that because it's a mouthful. But email us and let us know how that went, because I'm sure other listeners and fans of the show would love to know that as well. So
thanks again, Edwin. And we have another one, right?
Well, we have an email.
Okay.
This is from Todd McT in the chat. He says in Beta Show 5, Ron mentioned how he does not like installing apps that replace native apps. I feel the same way, but under some circumstances, I see having a separate app useful, but triggering it kind of cumbersome. And I love this email because I think it's totally true, the problem that he points out. He says, for example, I prefer using Android's native browser, Froyo, on my Galaxy Tab, because of how it integrates with other web apps that launch to web content like Fandroid, that sort of thing. I also have Firefox installed to view websites that don't render well with the native browser. The downside to this situation is that anytime I hit a page link in the native browser, I get prompted complete action using A, Firefox, B, web, where for the most part, I choose web for the native browser. I've been afraid to check the use by default for this action because I don't want to lose the option for opening the link with Firefox. So his first question is, if I chose web as the default action, is there a way to launch Firefox from the native browser with, say, a long press? And I believe the answer is no on that.
I don't think so.
I think once you're in the web browser, and I think that goes for if you're in Gmail and there's a link there. If you've set it as default for web, it's going to launch that.
Yeah, that's your default.
Yeah.
And you could change that default.
Yeah, well, exactly. His second question is there a way to reset the use by default for this action setting in the event that I don't want to use web as the default action once he's already said yes? I didn't want to commit to the native browser and lose the option for opening a link in Firefox. And yes, you can actually do that. It's actually very easy. From your home screen, you hit Menu. Oh, you want to do it? Actually,
do you want me to?
Here, I'll walk you through it because it'll be easier for me to tell you how to do it than for me to talk and do it. So, menu, settings, and then applications, and then manage, and then click the.
Oh no! Okay, here we go.
And then click all, or I guess it depends. What is your browser?
It's the stock.
It is the stock.
Yeah.
So if you click all. And then find browser.
Where is it?
Looking for browser. There you go. Click that. Now, if you scroll down on the next page, you will see, let's see here, you will see clear defaults. Clear defaults is the button that you press on the browser that you currently have selected to be your default launch. And you can do this. This goes for any type of app. If you have a camera app, so like I have the stock camera and I have Vignette. And so anytime, I take a picture, it asks me, do you want to use this, whatever. If I programmed it to be Vignette and then later I'm like, no, I actually want it to be stock, I go to Vignette's application page and settings and clear defaults, and then it'll ask you again. That's basically what it does, is it prompts you again for that. So, so totally possible. So pretty sweet. Yeah. And then finally, and then we'll wrap this up because
I've had to do that for home screens, quite honestly. Because,
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of home screens.
Yeah, because I was trying out all the different home screens, Launcher Pro. I've been using Zeem and all of that. And then at one point I was like, I want to go back to whatever.
Right.
And then, yeah, that's the same way for any app.
Yeah, it works for all different types of apps. Finally, he asks, are the All About Android beta shows available for on-demand playback? I don't see the beta shows at youtube.com/twit, and they are there. They're hard to find, but I created a tiny URL, tinyurl.com/AAA-YouTube. And actually, I'm wondering if my capitalization of AAA is going to throw it off if you don't capitalize them. It's possible, but anyways, let me see here. AAA YouTube. There we go. All right. Boom. That's where you go.
Yay!
And that'll pull up a playlist of all of our past episodes. Wow, that was a long email.
That was long, but thank you.
I'm sorry.
I felt like we did a little how-to tutorial.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing.
What I thought with that email.
That's the other thing that we want to do on this show is a little how-to segment. So something like that is perfect. You know,
Yeah.
how do I, get out of the defaults or change my default? That kind of thing.
I could have cut that down a little bit in pre-show production. So I'll remember that going forward. But thank you so much for the email because I think that's a tip that probably a lot of people have kind of stumble around. So
Absolutely.
that's that.
I think that's the end of our show.
I believe
Jason.
so. I think another beta episode successfully completed. We are
Yay.
getting close to what is the next step? Release candidate?
Launch. Yeah, release candidate.
Should we make next week's episode a release candidate? Or when is next week's episode?
Well, that's
we're
a
off
tough
Monday.
one. Yeah, we're off Monday. So we're recording this today because why are we recording this today?
There was a switch. The
There was a
frame rate had
switch.
to go to Monday,
That's
so we're
right.
taking frame
That's
rates
right.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're generally going to do this on Monday afternoons, not
Yeah.
Monday morning. I think we were also thinking that Monday morning is just like,
It's really hard to come in from the weekend and just sit down an
Exactly.
hour later and be totally with it and ready. So right now our tentative scheduled time, I believe, is it 5 to 6 Mondays? Or
right after forecast.
Right
We're
after
thinking
forecast.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
forecast would lead right into All About Android.
Yeah.
So
It'll
I
be
like
your late afternoon, or for you on other coasts, evening.
Don't worry about watching the show at the dinner table when your family's all gathered around. They'll want to watch. So just pull it up on your laptop.
Might have my dinner too.
Plop it there. We'll be like another person at the table eating your meatloaf.
I mean, what are you watching on Monday nights anyways? What's on Monday nights?
Us.
Nothing. Us. That's right.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. allaboutandroidshow@gmail.com, 347-SHOW-AAA for a voicemail. And that's it. We'll see you next week. And actually before then at South by Southwest.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
And we'll hopefully have Ron here next week.
Yeah. It
okay.
is really nice having a third person.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
It helps so much to kind of keep things rolling along,
agree.
and if you kind of hit a stumbling block, it's nice to know that you can rely on two people to kind of kick the ball back and forth.
Yep.
But overall, I think it went okay.
Yeah.
The interview.
I know.
kinda
Yeah.
stalled
We're working
a
on
little
it.
bit, but-
What did you guys think of the interview at the top?
Yeah,
I mean, we're learning how to, integrate that
honest.
into the show. Absolutely be honest. And that was the first time he had ever been
Absolutely.
on a show too. So
I don't fault him for
No,
anything. I think it was a
no,
decent interview. I
yeah.
just, you know what I feel? I feel like I could have kind of prepared for it a little bit more.
Yeah,
Maybe
me
had
too.
some questions lined
Yeah.
up for it.
Me too. I did give him a hard question.
Yeah,
Remember
you did.
that?
Yeah, you
The
stumped
one
it.
where he says, "Oh no, I've been asked again."
Yeah.
We'll get better at this.
Refracted
So.
says the interview was a little long. I agree.
It was a little long. Yeah. Sorry. I even extended it. Sorry. My fault.
Ron Mexico gives us the awesome
Wasn't bad. Okay, good. Good.
Cheeto says wasn't bad at all. It's amazing what
Thank
that
you,
at all
Cheeto.
does for me. The beginning was good. Okay.
Show is fine. Pacing is off. Probably because we're missing our third person.
Yeah.
I think we had a really good show last week. Or
Yeah, I
the
thought last
time.
week's probably
Yeah.
was one of the better shows so
Yeah.
far. Fastball questions. Low energy show.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's like you were saying, when we have a third person to kind of like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's
I agree.
it can be a little bit stressful, I guess, or not, maybe not stressful. That's not the right word, but at least for me, I feel like I'm juggling so much already, and then to lose a person, it's a little distracting
Yeah.
to take that on a little bit more, but I think I'll get better
Yeah,
at
our
that.
inflections and enthusiasm peaked at the end of the show. I have more fun talking about the apps, quite honestly,
Yeah.
than about malicious,
Totally.
So I think it's the tone, too, and what we were talking about. I just love talking about the apps and getting into hardware.
And that's
that
kind of
thing.
what our thought was initially,
Yeah.
was that we would be less a news show because there are plenty of other Twitch shows that do news, and
Yeah, you're
they
gonna hear
all
about this.
somehow touch on this stuff.
Yeah, you're going to hear about this on Twig or TNT, and they should be the ones to take the news, the hard news, and we're more about sort of like the Android user and what you guys use
Right.
your Android device for, ways to use it, that kind of thing. So I think we're going to be more of like help and how to and apps and
like
introducing new hardware and stuff like that rather than news. So you've got even you've got bigger journalists on this Twit cottage that's doing the news. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So Curtis
Cool.
B says if you're having interviews with people that are camera shy, it may be worth interviewing them. Yeah. Well, I wish I had a lot more time to do a lot of the things around here, but you're right. or editing the interview into the show. Yeah, see, that's
not a bad idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea, because that's, like we were talking about, we want to do a lot of different roll-ins into the show, and that could be one of them. And then we could just talk about it afterwards. You know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. And I think with the new studio, things like that are going to actually be a lot easier.
It's going to be a lot easier.
Because we're very limited having a single studio to be able to do advanced recorded interviews.
Yep.
I mean, we're working around the schedule of all the other shows in a single studio. It's pretty difficult.
Yep.
But that's a great point. Great idea.
Yeah.
Yes, DStew99. So do a short news fuse type news, just headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely one of the things that we've considered.
Yeah.
Because we know
Maybe we should.
It can kind of keep us on track. And if we read the news fuse-ish headline and it spurs conversation outside of it, great. But if all we do is kind of read this and be like, yeah, that happened, then that's good enough too. We don't feel like we have to fill the time.
I agree. I think we are going to work that out a little bit more. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the topic, but I think you're right. I think we just need to, and we've talked about that. So we might just punch that through that so that, everyone's sort of updated kind of thing. And then we'll move on to the stuff that, that we are going to be good at talking about.
Do we have a show immediately following? No, it's NSFW eventually, but not immediately.
At 7 o'clock, yeah, not immediately.
Want to play a couple of the themes?
Yeah, let's play the themes. Who wants to talk themes?
I mean, do you have time?
I have time. I can be here till. I just want to leave by 6.
Can you be here until 9 o'clock tonight? Another 4 hours?
Okay,
we
sure.
can do this for another 4 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Getting to the root of the matter.
All right, so
let's hear some themes.
See here. Some of you may have already heard. I can't remember exactly how many of these hit the show, but these are some of the themes that we're kind of working through and figuring out. The first one is Brian Tate, and I believe you heard a slower version of this song, which is something like this. It's pretty slow. That's the main thing with this one, is that it's kind of slow. Rex says not upbeat enough. I totally agree. I really like the sounds in it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of slow. So I'm actually, I went and sped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping,
sped it up.
I'm hoping to kind of do a little bit of a remix treatment on it.
They want cowbells in this.
Dung, dung, dung. And one of us should kind of be in the background with a cowbell going.
Absolutely.
So here's a little bit faster. Here, I'll skip to the meat of it. Oh, no, never mind. It won't let me do that. Yeah, start as dull, says TikTok. I kind of agree.
Me too.
Hello and welcome to the All About Android show, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's a little bit faster. And I actually this morning had that at home, and I was kind of doing a little bit of like an intro remix-ish type thing. So maybe I'll have that for next week, or at least a piece of it.
Should we
play where I'm at?
Should we play some of the stuff that we're thinking that might end up be segment headers kind of thing?
Yeah, so let's see here. So Joshua Caleb sent in something, and we were like, oh, maybe this could be some, worked into some sort of a news drop.
News. Right before we intro news.
That'll be it. News.
News. Android news.
All it'll be is like a blue screen with white letters, and all it'll say is news.
Android news. Android news.
And one of us will say news. All right. And then it kind of gets all random at this point.
Yes. News.
Yeah. So then the trick, of course, then is working that into a shortish kind of drop for news. But yeah, it kind of had a newsy feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Negreanu sent this in. Let's see here. Can't remember this one. Oh, yes.
What does it remind me of? I think of...
260s. Is this 60s? Very 80s. That may have been a typo. That wants to jump.
Debbie Gibson! My noob segment. If I do a noob segment, time for the noob segment. Hey newbies, Android newbies. We are happy to be here on this team.
So let's just go ahead and go on the record and say this one's very happy.
I know.
This is a
We're
very
happy people. We're happy people.
It's not a bad song.
No, I like it. I do. I think it's going to be appropriate for a segment. I'm just not sure what.
Yeah. It's very, very upbeat and happy. Not that that's a bad thing. But maybe a little too happy. Like, maybe we need to go dark.
Let's go dark.
Let's go dark like Stuart, a.k.a. Bootwell. Yeah, are you ready? A little spooky. Yeah.
People like this one.
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe not.
Yeah, hard. Boy, this sounds awesome. Says
Nintendo. Yeah. That's what I thought about.
That's
the last
actually
one.
what is it? Bootwell. That's what he said. He said this one sounded a little bit more suitable, possibly because of that stuff. It does have a little bit of a Nintendo-ish feel to it.
It's funny. I thought the last one did.
Yeah, it's a little fast. It's maybe a little aggressive. It's got an aggressive feel to it that kind of makes me think of a bunch of kids in a room getting geeked out or something. But,
This could be the Root theme. Interesting.
Oh, the Root theme. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We had it down at Hardware, but
yeah,
Root. Yeah, because you're entering the dark underbelly of Android.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then finally, we have this one by Russ Cluett. And I'll be curious to know what you guys think of this one. Okay, now listen to this part of it particularly. All right, you can email us at allaboutandroidshow@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, 347-SHOW-AAA. That's right. We'll be back next week with another episode of All About Android.
Web 7294, that's exactly what we think. I think people were really... Ooh, Jeannie likes it.
Yeah, I think the second half particularly is just awesome.
And I think
first half is really...
Yeah, I don't know.
Something's strange with the first half. The second half is awesome for an outro.
We definitely are going to use that for our outro. You could bet your...
Yeah, like I'm wondering if maybe we go back to him and we say, "Hey, we love what you did with the second part. Is there any, I don't know,
change up the first part to match it up kind of thing?"
Yeah. Or we just use the second half as our outro and a different song
Yeah.
as our intro. There's no reason why we couldn't do that.
Right. I don't know, but it seems like everybody was pretty positive about that one. Does it make you feel good? Do you feel inspired?
Do you feel inspired?
Listening to that one? Epic rock. That's right. That's what I think. Epic. Inspirational.
Thank you, Jeannie. So good to see you in
Yeah, thanks,
here.
Jeannie.
Yeah, so that's basically what we have. And we're not ending the search by any means. If you are a musician, you would like to try your hand at penning the theme song for All About Android, you can email us. It's on the screen there, and we would love to hear it. Absolutely. Or if you have a song like lying around and you're like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah,
here,
totally.
You guys do something.
Oh, they want to hear it again. That's
Really?
a positive. Well,
Wow.
Happy Mac does. I don't know if anybody else does. Do you guys want to hear it again? The last one? Wait, don't do it yet.
I know we're gonna get some no's. 'Cause
Yes,
I definitely
there's some
saw
yes.
some
Please
some
play
no's.
again. Mr. Gouch says no. Cheeto says no. Ooh, most people say yes, though.
Play it, yes.
Oh my
play it,
God,
play it,
everybody
play it,
says
play it,
yes.
Sure. Wow,
All right,
interesting.
well,
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
All
then.
right, and I will. Let's see here. Who asked that? Britman said, "What did Bootwell's first track sound like?" I'll find that while this plays again, because I do have that somewhere. Just gotta find it. Hold on one second.
Most people like it.
All right. Well,
I
we'll
wasn't
play
sure
it
if it
again.
was too positive.
Yeah, the first half of it.
Yeah.
And especially like the intro when it first kicks in sounds kind of like not ravey. I don't know. It's just kind of a cheesy instrument. But when everything kicks in, it's better.
Like right here.
Let's see if I can find that other one.
Anthem rock.
Yeah, right.
Twiggish. Have you heard the Twig theme?
Twig theme sounds very
Classical.
similar. Oh no, what am I thinking of?
It's classical.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is classical. See, this part's just awesome. This part I got stuck in my head actually over the weekend.
I don't think we're gonna make anyone happy, but
Well,
or everyone happy.
yeah.
But I really want to have a user, or a viewer, listener, make our theme. I think that'd be really cool.
I think we're well on the way
We're
for
well
that.
on our way.
We're on our way. Please set me free.
I don't think we're going back to the drawing board. Web
Home,
5315.
sweet home. Here's the first one from.
What's this? Hey, what's this? What is this? This is from who?
This is from Bootwell. This is his first submission.
It was?
Android.
I don't remember this one.
I feel like I played it for you upstairs. Maybe not. I thought I did. Well, there you go. Here, we can hear it again. It's pretty short.
And it's short. Oh, I kind of like this one, you guys.
Android.
I kind of like this one. I don't know why I don't remember this. Look, and everybody thinks so too.
That's
I
the
don't
one.
like it.
Is it the one because Android is in it?
No, it's just, it's got a dark and then it's a little robotic kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's got it's a dark and robotic kind of theme going on. I don't know.
No, I don't mind it. Again, when I first heard it, I was like, oh yeah, it's great. It's a little aggressive, but
I don't care. Didn't you?
what's that? Whimsical?
I think so too, because it's got a little bit of a do. I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh, everybody likes it. I don't know. I kind of like it too.
Web 800
Nice.
says those beats are so fresh.
It's the win.
If
Winning.
that-
Everybody thinks it's winning.
It's how it wins. That's
See,
why it's good, because it
Movie
wins.
waves. I agree. It kind of needs to be a little more aggressive. Don't you
Yeah?
think iOS people are a little more?
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I don't know.
Me gusta. There really
That's
aren't
terrible.
any.
What did I say that? Sorry, that was terrible.
Don't you mean?
I know that didn't make any sense. Sometimes I have a hard time describing things, so I enunciate.
I love that drop.
I'm beating my own self because I am also an iOS user, so it kind of. And bye.
Okay, well, there were a lot of really positive responses on that last one.
I know. I forgot about that one. Can we play it? Can we hear it one more time?
Yes. Loud there, sorry.
Android.
And it's short.
Yeah, so I would definitely have to loop it, because if we have sponsors or whatever, it has
Right.
to kind of loop underneath. But that's very easily done. It's got a loopable part in the
same
middle.
loopable part.
And the end, I mean,
Tony Wang, did you like that last one? You did.
Yeah. Did you guys play the inspirational one from the chat room?
We did. They liked it, actually. Yeah.
Was that one inspired?
I think they were all inspired.
I feel like we're getting more positive response about this than the
Yeah.
inspirational one.
Out of everything we've played, that last one, everyone really likes. I like it.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
remember. Tony Wang approved. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but you know what, Tony? I feel like you liked them all.
You did like
You're
them
like,
all.
I love them all. Everyone I've heard is great.
You can't really compare apples with oranges or apple with Android.
You can't compare apples to androids.
You can if you're playing Angry Birds on both, and you're like,
Oh.
which one is better?
Sure.
Right.
Or Fruit Ninja. But anyways, that's beside the point. All right, so then the
Cut
question...
the Rope is going to be awesome.
Yes. Is that coming out for
It's
Android?
coming out for Android. I'm so
Nice.
excited for Cut the Rope. I love it.
Nice.
On the Android. Okay, anyways.
So, let's see here. Second part of Google. So then what about that guitar part? 'Cause I really like that as an outro, but it's like
still like it as an outro.
they are totally at odds with each other. Don't you think? No?
I don't know.
Am I thinking too
I think
much
there's
into
more
it?
than one kind of user for Android, and that's what we're going to represent here, right?
True. Oh, hey, by
He
the
didn't
way,
like that. He didn't like that.
by the way,
He wasn't paying attention. Oh, yeah.
yeah. I
Wow.
had to
Really?
know.
More people like Latitude than... Okay, there's only 3 votes for Gowala. But yeah, most people are... Cool.
Anyways, so well, yeah, I guess the end is 40 to 45 minutes away from the beginning, so it's not like, yeah, I don't know. Something in my head is like they're one's like hard electronic, the other one is like inspirational guitar. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I probably am.
Use the intro as
When it comes
outro.
to music, I do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. We are still thinking, oh, man, I do like that new one.
Okay.
Or not the new one, but the first one.
The last one that I played. Yeah. All right. Well, then I think we've made progress.
We've made more progress than I realized we would. It was more like, seemed like you guys in chat were, kind of warming up to everything. It got better and better and better and better, right? We played you one and then we're like, next. The next. The next. Oh. The next what? And then the last one, yes! I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true. Maybe they just got better and better. Like a good wine over time. All right. I think I'm approaching not making sense mode.
Me too. All right.
Well, this has been really helpful.
Yeah,
chat
thank you,
room.
everybody.
Thank you
We've
so
been
much.
really kind of going back and forth. Yesterday, we were listening to these songs over and over again, and we weren't sure. So...
Bootwell, I can make a longer version of it, he says.
Yeah.
Nice. This is the first point in this little preview session that I realized you were in there, and I'm sorry I missed you in there. Good job.
Yeah, Jeb, this is a new show. We haven't really started yet. It's still beta, much like the Mostly Photo show's beta. We're beta, too.
Yes. All right. Well, Bootwell, if you do happen to have a chance, and hopefully you know which theme we're talking about, and you want to make it a little bit longer, that would certainly make things a little easier for me. I'm probably looking at like 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just thinking of that's probably like a minute. And it's going to sound weird that it's looping for that long when you're creating that, but when it's buried underneath dialogue and stuff, it won't matter. So.
Oh, are you producing an SFW tonight? Are you staying for that? Or no, Burke's doing that?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Burke's doing it.
If I am, I had no idea.
NSFW is going to get burked tonight.
Late submission.
What?
Bill Meeks has one he has lying around.
Lying around. Let's hear this. I love
it's
this.
a little long, so we might have to...
Thank you guys so much for your help.
Yeah,
we really want this to be a
awesome.
community-driven show, too.
It's a long loop section there.
I have to say, I feel like I'm playing a Nintendo game.
It does kind of feel like a...
I'm playing a game. It really feels like a Nintendo game. It plays a little like... I feel like I'm playing... No offense, Bill. It's good. I feel like I'm playing...
Here, I'll skip...
Which one? The DS. Yeah, I'm playing...
Oh, I see. That's just a long drum loop out. That's when you're working on or you stopped on or something. Yeah, it's good. I don't think it ousts.
I don't think it ousts the other one.
Yeah,
you're right.
But thank you so much for sending that in. I love previewing these here like this. Trying to see if anyone else has thrown anything. I know. Like, wait a minute, maybe I missed something. No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Not that I can see.
That's good. I don't know. Everybody seemed really positive about the other one, the second to last one. So. Just being dumb. Everyone likes it.
Android.
I really like the vocal aspect of it too. It's like I can't even imitate it, but it sounds so cool.
See, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Go with it. It's a done deal, says Scouser.
Yeah, we should just sign that up as the intro.
I can't dance as good as Sarah, so no. Randy, NACO 12002.
Okay.
She's gonna be the dancer. This is awesome. Thank you.
All right. That's fantastic. I love that I won't have to do any remixing like I had started on that one this morning because it was okay. It was just kind of like, man, it's been so long since I've remixed something. It'll take me a while to get back into the groove.
I'm so excited. You're going to need this with all this music. What is this? Uh-oh, I'm afraid to tap. Oh. I don't know what that is.
Neither do I.
And it's loading slow. Our internet is so slow.
Oh, way to organize your MIDIs or
really
something.
Sorry. Our internet is so slow.
Yeah.
All right, I got to boot. I got to go.
You got to boot well?
I got to boot.
Oh, I see. It's a joke. I'll get rid of it. Okay, well, thank you so much for all of your
oh my gosh,
insight
thank you so
and
much.
input and sticking around and checking the show out after TNT. I hope those of you who hadn't seen it before, I hope you'll come back. Because I think we kind of got warmed up in the middle to the end of the show was more representative of
what we're going to do.
Kind of what we've been doing with Ron. Just all the app stuff. That's what we really get excited about. And I think that's what it's probably going to end up focusing on a lot more.
We want to help you. We want to answer questions. Send us video questions, things like that, or video recommendations.
Yeah, we had on one past episode a couple of 60-second app reviews by you guys, and if you want to do that, throw it up on YouTube and send us a link. We're happy to roll those in.
Absolutely, we'll roll all those in. We want to make this as collaborative as possible and really show you new things, recommend things for you, not necessarily just talking news. I think, again, you guys get that in many other outlets here on this channel.
Totally.
So we want to have fun. So I think that's what we're going to be doing is like, hey, did you hear the latest app here? Or did you see this feature on this phone versus that phone, blah, 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 that kind of thing. I think that's what you guys will end up enjoying more. And I think that's where we're going to actually shine. So cool.
All right. Well, what's up on the plan? What time does NSFW pre-show
7.
start?
Oh, pre-show 6:30? No. Okay.
Okay. And is the TriCaster recording copacetic files now? Like, can I play it, or do I have to still convert from upstairs?
I'm pretty sure
I'll just go with something safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. We're not sure. We're off on Monday, so I don't know when our next show is, if we're going to do Tuesday or not, or if we can do it Tuesday at all. I actually possibly have jury duty unless I push.
Oh, that was next week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna push it.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I know. I don't know what it's like, jury duty here in Marin. All right. We're picking a new show for you before NSFW tonight, and then we didn't give our Twitter handles. Oh well. That doesn't matter. We'll
I have
that.
yours in your lower third.
Oh, that's
But
right.
I never go to a single on me, so I never show mine, but that's
I know
all right.
you need a single on him. You need a single on you.
Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you later.